Hey guys, welcome back to another. We just recorded a 20-minute episode, and I hit the X, and it said, "Do you want to save your recording?" And I forgot to hit yes because I thought no meant cancel. So here we are, take two, in Winnipeg's muggy weather, where no one in our apartment building likes to close their windows, so it's so freaking humid in our apartments that I don't feel like doing this. But because you guys obviously sent in your emails to us, we're gonna fight through this through sweat and sweat, because that's all we're doing right here, just sweating
through sweat and sweat.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah,
Tears and sweat, more like. I want to cry.
Well, if you cry, I'm gonna punch you. But, oh god. Anyways, guys,
to do this again.
Just want to say that this is our series where you guys send in your questions. We try and answer them to the best of our knowledge, and we are no professionals in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So don't get mad at our shit advice, okay?
Whoa, relax. Anyways, our first question comes in from Anonymous. Says, so here's the problem. I'm hitting puberty, you hear that? I'm overweight, not morbidly obese, but on the verge of it. I want to lose weight because of how much damn inconvenience it is, and it started to affect my confidence. My friends really started to annoy me about it, calling me names, blah, blah. I'm 6 foot. I'm so used to saying I'm 6'4" that I almost said 6'4". I'm 6 foot, wrestle on a regular basis, and turning 17. So getting a girlfriend soon is starting to become an objective for me during the last year of my secondary education. However, I don't like wrestling anymore, and I've started to stop going. My mom and I are close. She wants to understand, she understands why I want to leave. I am so sorry that my
Sorry, we're tired. We're hot. This is hard.
The truth is, I want to start dancing. I know this is quote unquote gay hobby to take up being in my situation, but I really do enjoy doing it. But I worry about the fact that I have led such a lifestyle, as mentioned, has left me in quite an awkward place. Dancing is one of the best ways to lose weight, and I'd start to enjoy my life a bit more if I took it up. What should I do? I'd rather have my friends call me fat than gay. Please help. I could use some solid advice right now. If you read this, thank you for your time, and keep up the great content. Anon.
Why Anon? It sounds like you're saying something else.
How you?
I don't know. It's not. It's Anon. Because it's anonymous, not anonymous, or whatever.
Anyways, first and foremost, don't ever think any hobby is gay, or don't label any type of, I guess, not hobby, but like don't label work things, or what am I trying to say here?
The only thing that should be labeled as gay is a homosexual man, okay?
Yes.
That's all we're trying to say.
You know, if you want to take up cooking, if you want to take up dancing, it's not gay. It's you stepping up, being a confident man that you are, and just, you know, saying this is what you want to do. Don't let your friends ever tell you that it's gay, because it's not. First and foremost, if you take up dancing, I guarantee you're going to be able to get a girlfriend. Why? Because girls love guys who dance. And then when your friends say, hey, you're gay, and that's what you say, nope, I got a girlfriend.
You just be like, whoa.
And then you do a twirl around them, and no, you don't do that. But no, it's just, you know, I understand why you want to lose weight and that, you know. I'm a bit overweight myself. I don't feel that confident, but, you know, I kind of live with it. But yeah, just, you know, if I guess my advice would...
it's inconvenient. I admit that. I don't care about, like, how fat I am. The only thing I don't like is, yeah, it is inconvenient. Because it is easier to move around when you're not carrying the extra weight. But I could... Have we touched on the friends thing? Your friends are kind of jerks.
Yeah, if they're not going to be supportive, I mean, I wouldn't call those type of people my friends, because, you know, friends are going to be there through thick and thin and support you through whatever you want to do, whether it's dancing or... Okay. But, you know, like I said, if you don't feel like... before Andrea interrupted me, I was going to say that, you know, if you don't feel comfortable doing it out in public, you know, there's things like, you know, DDR, or like you can even get like a dance pad and hook it up to your PC or whatever, or even, you know, even like get a Wii. They have like lots of dancing games on there, and they're actually made to lose weight.
Oh Christ, DDR is the ultimate in losing weight. It's ridiculous. Just, you get crazy good, and then you get crazy sweaty, and it's just like mental times. Plus the songs are stuck in your head forever. It's great.
But yeah, like I take up the role like cooking in our relationship, and I don't think that's homosexual in any way, shape, or form. You know why?
No.
Because it's not.
It's just
Cooking's
smart because
cooking.
he's really good and I'm really crap.
Dancing is dancing. It's just just.
Yeah, it's only gay if you're having sex with a man and you're a man. So it's stupid to call things gay.
Yeah.
Because it's like trying to make fun of them by saying they're gay, but I don't think that gay is an insult, so it seems stupid to call anything gay. It's dumb.
Plus, if you're really confident in that, no one's gonna fucking bother you.
Yeah.
Just plain simple.
Just
Even in high school, man. Like I know what high school is like, so.
Yeah, get better friends, get dancing friends. Go join DDR groups or like go join your dance classes or whatever and become friends with all the guys and girls in that, and then get a girlfriend and then just be all like, yeah, I got this wicked dancing girlfriend. Now what? And then go on Dancing with the Stars and just own that shit.
Please don't go on Dancing on the Stars. But yeah, just just be confident. Just do what you want. Obviously, you don't want to do wrestling anymore, so why put yourself through that stress? But yeah. So anyways, our next question comes in from Nick. It says, "Hey, Paz and Andrea, I've gotten a very painful leg surgery on my right leg. It's called compartment syndrome. I've been on pain pills for about 6 days and it still hurts a lot. I have now 2 5-inch scars on my right leg. I have seen the 15 stitches and 30 staples, and my leg is tiny as can be. I have a question, hope you and Andrew will help me. With my new scars, I'm afraid I will freak people out if I continue to wear shorts. These scars will be brutal. I don't want a little kid to look at my scars and run away crying because it makes me feel like an absolute jerk. I want to know if I should show my beautiful skin like I normally do in my shorts, or if I should wear pants. This is a serious question, and none of my friends will help. Thanks."
Okay, first point. What was it? Scars are awesome.
Chicks dig scars. See, we put these 2 emails together for a reason. Chicks dig scars.
Chicks dig scars. I like scars. Tell your scar story again.
Yeah, for the second time. The best way to deal with it is, you're going to get a lot of people asking you questions. So, just be honest. Just say that you had to do it because you need it for this type of syndrome. For me, I got a couple scars on my body. I actually have one under my chin. I have one on my tongue, and one on my knee that a lot of people notice. So, people are always like, "Hey, what happened there?" And I just tell them that, I took up rollerblading when I was young. Yeah, I was a cool kid, obviously, and I was just rollerblading and I tripped and I landed right on a rock. And basically, while I'm telling this story, I actually did lose some
feeling
because of nerve damage, just because of how hard I landed on the rock. And so when I'm telling that story, I'll take like a toothpick or something and just poke it and just kind of freak him out.
You did that to me
when
we first started dating.
Yep. And basically, people, basically the biggest concern I think for you, just people are just going to be curious, and if you just be straight up forward, no one's going to bug you because, the way I look at it, there's like people like Andrea and I, and we're not like the best people or anything, but like her and I, we don't go around judging people. Like you see people walk differently, you see people just like act differently, and it's just who they are. And it's a scar. No one's going to really care.
It's really nobody's business. It's only rude, stupid, ignorant people who are gonna say anything bad about it or like make fun of you or whatever. And you know what? Your scars are not their problem. It's only your problem. So if you want to wear shorts, just wear shorts.
Yeah, I don't know if you live in the States or not. There's a heat wave going on right now. You don't want to do that. So
yeah.
But I know one of your concerns is about like little kids. Basically, kids, they're not going to freak out. If anything, like I said, they're just going to be curious because kids at like young ages like that are always
super curious.
Just super curious and wondering what is going on in the world. And
just lie. Tell them you're Batman.
Why Batman?
Or Superman. I don't care. Just tell them you got it when you were fighting an epic battle for the survival of the planet Earth, and they will just be like, "That's awesome!"
Yeah, but then that kid's going to grow up thinking that this guy was a superhero and that.
Well, kids need some hope in their lives. I think if I had grown up thinking Batman was real, I think I would have grown into a better adult. I think I'd be 100% more awesome right now.
But just be yourself. Wear your shorts, man.
Yeah, show that gorgeous skin. Don't even worry about it. Scars are wicked.
I think scars are awesome. It's always...
Send us a picture.
Scars are basically, just... It's basically a way to tell part of the story of your life, That's the way I look at it.
Mm-hmm. And all human beings get them. We get all kinds of weird shit happening.
I have a scar on my arm, and that's the most ridiculous way. And that was self-inflicted because I did this thing called the pussy test, where I took an eraser to my arm. Now that I don't like telling because that was stupid. decision as a kid. I was a grade 3 and people were doing
Wait a minute, I just remembered you stabbed yourself with a fork when you showed me your knee one.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Alex.
It's fun. just own yourself.
I remember now. I don't remember a lot, but I remember that. Jerk.
Yeah, don't be ashamed of who you are, man.
I'm so hot.
And our next question comes in from Not So Macho Man, who is apparently our biggest fan. It says, "Hey, Alex and Andrea. I'm 18 years old and fresh out of high school. Life was good until about 7 months ago when my father came down with cancer. I never had anyone in my life with it, so it's new to me. Anyways, they noticed it early on enough so they were able to cut it out before it was really bad. After it was cut out of him, they put him under chemotherapy so that it would completely get rid of the cancer and make sure it would not come back. Unfortunately, that type of therapy comes with great challenges which will make you really sick, and he had to go through that for 6 months. While he was going through it, he constantly got sicker and sicker, going back and forth from the hospital. All my family members around me were always in tears every day except for me, because I felt like with him not being able to hold the family together, I had to step up. After 6 months, we were up and he was all finished with therapy. I thought everything could go back to normal, but then a few days later, my mother had 2 minor strokes from being under all the stress, and was sent to the hospital immediately. Even though now everyone's back home, it's not the way it used to be. I hear my sister cry herself to sleep every night. I hear my father getting up and puking twice every night, and my mom barely sleeps. But still to this day, I have not shed a tear because I feel like I have to stay strong for my family, and I don't want to show any fear. I don't want to confront my parents about it. I don't know what to do. Any tips?"
So yeah, this is a big one.
Yeah, but I said this last time, and I still mean it right now. Obviously, previous recording. I just got to give you props for taking that challenge to kind of step up and try and hold everyone together. That's huge.
Yeah, 18, dealing with all of that shit. That is amazing that you're managing to keep it together through all of that. That is crazy.
There's kids out there who wouldn't do anything for their family in situations like this, so gotta give mad props to you, bro. Fist bump.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a tough one.
Well, I guess the first thing you can look at it is the positive side, right? You're like you said, your family's back. By the sounds of it, your dad is recovering, and obviously you didn't mention whether or not your mother had any permanent damage from the minor stroke, so you can look at it like that and just be thankful that it's not worse. I know it sucks, but
yeah, things might be different. Like, you never know. Like, your dad might be kind of shitty and sick and weak for a while, and there might be some damage, and with your mom too, she might not be the same and everything, but everybody's alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And your sister obviously sounds like she's taking it hard, but
not everybody can handle stress the exact same way. Lots of people can't stand up and be real strong about it the entire time. And you know what? That's amazing that you could. But don't think that you're not allowed to be upset about it. You're totally allowed. Like, you can definitely, if you need to, just, even if it's just by yourself, cry yourself to sleep one night, whatever,
You don't want that stress level to build up to the point where, you're giving yourself ulcers, or even worse, making yourself, like, physically ill because of this, because stress does a lot of crazy things to the body, and you don't want that to happen. So just let yourself loose one night, do whatever you gotta do.
Nothing's gonna change while you're sleeping. Just let it all out, and then the next day you can be strong again. But if you hold it in too much, you're just gonna explode, or you could actually end up with physical things coming out, like just with your mom. She got stressed out, she got strokes. You could easily get ulcers and stuff. I mean, our stress comes out so easily in our body, so try not to hold it in too much. And I'm sure your entire family appreciates everything that you're doing, being so strong and keeping it together and helping everybody out and everything. But you deserve to also have some downtime as well, talk with them about it, because I'm sure your parents are freaked out, and they don't want to, like, I bet your parents would be real upset if they knew you were sitting there holding it all in, keeping it all to yourself, and just suffering silently.
Bottling up emotions is not good.
Yeah, exactly.
I've done it before, and that's kind of where I start getting, like, panic attacks and everything. So the best way is just to kind of, like, let yourself out, let yourself loose, show some emotion.
Yeah, your family, do it together.
You're human, yeah, exactly. And again, I just want to say that I hope your family, that your mom and dad recover quickly and all that. And again, got to give you props for stepping up and doing that. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Way to go, man.
yep. And our last email comes in. It's not like a question or anything like that, but I thought it was a really good email because it was kind of like a little feedback, and it comes in from Tyler here. It says, "Hey, Pause, you answered my question on the first episode of Mailbox Thursday. It was the one where I asked for your help about my mom being on drugs and my dad not really wanting to move in with him and not having much money. You told me to get a job and care about myself and take care of my grandparents. So I thought about it really hard and realized that was the best advice you could have given me. You told me. So I did just that, and now I have a job and I tried my hand at YouTube as well and actually got a partnership. I just want to let you and Andrea know that the advice you give people really helps them and greatly, and I know it did for me. P.S. Keep up the great work." And honestly, the only reason why I put this in is, I don't think anyone's like sent us any email back in regard. And
well, we have gotten a few responses like saying like, "I'm gonna take your advice" or whatever, but we haven't had anybody actually email us back and say, "I've taken your advice and it really helped."
Don't think that we require this or anything. I just thought it was nice, and honestly, this is kind of the reason why I wanted to do this, is to try and help people, because I don't know, it's just,
yeah.
I know some people out there, it's hard to talk with certain people, and when you're doing stuff online, it's obviously a little bit easier to be a little bit more open, and I'm just glad that the advice we can give actually goes out and helps people. And I guess I just don't really realize it until we get stuff like this. So it was really nice and warming, and just, I don't know, just made me feel a bit,
I just really wanted to also say to this guy that, like, well done. Like, when we talked about it on that first video, like, we talked about how it was a really tough decision you'd have to make, and like, well done for choosing to do the right thing. What's good for you and what's good for the people that you care about the most, good for you. That's excellent. And I'm really glad that you're doing well, so I hope that everything works out and that, you and your grandparents get along good.
And I just want to also mention that if you guys have any questions that you guys want to email us, and again, they don't have to be like about like serious topic life questions. It could be whatever. You can definitely send us an email at askpauseandpause@gmail.com, not pauseandpause@gmail.com. I delete everything on that. I don't even take a look anymore because it's just spam filled. But the reason we try and get you to write a subject line is because spam bots basically found our email, and so we're getting a lot. And the things that aren't labeled properly, we delete. So definitely label them. And Andrea was saying in the last recording that people sometimes email us and ask us where to do, like, what to do when they have like fan art and that. Just label everything properly. And
yeah, if you have fan art, just label it fan art. If you have like fanfic, which would be terrifying, write fanfic.
Gross.
Yeah, but what's the one for podcast stuff?
Yes, if and we still get emails for podcast inquiries, and if you guys actually have an email, send us an email. Well, not Andrea and I, but Team Nancy Drew right now at podcast@goodlp.com, and that's actually the email address that you want to send the podcast stuff. And again, thank you guys very much, and if you guys have any advice that we didn't touch base on, definitely feel free to add on, or say that we're stupid and we're dumb, but it's our opinion.
Yeah, just don't be rude.
Again, be civil about it, guys.
Yeah, come on, be nice.
Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and we shall talk with you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.